The 404 Show is supported by City Cards with Android Pay. Are you listening to our fine program on your phone? Well, now you can pay while you listen using the same device. Just tap and go. Download the Android Pay app on Google Play or visit city.com/Android Pay to get started. Android Pay is available for eligible City consumer credit and debit cards. Well, it's Friday. It's July 15th. You've made a lot of good decisions in your life.
Jeff, shut up.
And
Jeff, shut up. No, there's an Abra here.
A what?
There's an Abra in our studio right now.
An Abra?
An Abra?
Cadabra?
No, just an Abra. Don't get crazy here. It's not an
Where
Abra.
is it?
It's not a Cadabra.
Is it
it's
on
right here on the desk.
What is it?
It's very rare.
How many
it's a
legs
psychic
does it have?
Pokemon. It's got two arms, 2 legs. It's very rare. And the CP is pretty high. So I think we should probably take a break from the show for a minute and watch me catch this Abra.
I hate you.
The world has been taken over, Jeff. We live in a different world than we did last week. It is a world of Pokemon.
Why are you doing this to me?
It is a world of Pokemon. The game had actually been out when I think we recorded last week, but the servers were completely borked.
Yeah, we talked about it. You said, you're like, oh, this sucks. It doesn't work.
Right, exactly. A week has changed not only me, but the entire world. For the better, hard to say. Certainly people are spending more time outside for no reason.
It's the summer. I think Pokemon Go is working because it's the summertime.
Yeah, but even in New York, people have to like get to work and like be outside. I agree with you that like launching in the summer was a smart idea, but you know, I don't know. I could see this hanging around.
Let's talk about this. Why is this
It
happening?
is the perfect storm. Do you know how this came about? How like the background works, all that stuff?
So I know Niantic, the developer, did a Google thing, like an Android AR game.
Yep.
Called
Ingress. Called Ingress.
That's what it was. It was like that actor's last name.
I don't know who you're talking about.
Who's the guy from Pacific Rim?
I don't know. The guy from Sons of Anarchy guy?
No, that's Charlie Hunnam. I'm talking about
Mark Ingram?
Nope. I'm talking about.
This is fascinating radio right here.
Where the hell is he?
Okay.
God damn it. What's the guy's name?
No one cares. Anyway, the game is called Ingress. You can research that if you want while I talk about it. And basically, it launched several years ago. It allowed people to walk around. It tracked your GPS location. It like earned you points as you were walking around. And in certain areas, what was it?
Idris Elba.
Yeah, really close.
You know who that is, though?
Yes, I know who Idris Elba is.
He's the man.
He is awesome.
Yeah.
In this game Ingress, you would walk around, and for popular spots where a lot of people were walking, they'd have these like hubs, and you'd pick a team and you'd fight over those spots. You'd sort of. I haven't played a lot of Ingress. I downloaded it just to like try it out and see.
People say it's better technically than Pokemon.
It probably is, but it's also very intimidating. Speaking as someone that plays video games for a living, I like was really overwhelmed and had no idea what was going on in Ingress.
Right.
So you had basically this baseline where millions of people, I think they had like 2 million active users or something.
Okay.
For years, were adding all this data to this system, and then they flip a switch and suddenly it's a Pokemon. I mean, Ingress still exists, but now they have this Pokemon game using all that data that all those people collected.
So it's like the same engine?
It's the same backend. So where there's a gym, effectively, where there's a gym in Ingress, there's a gym in Pokemon. They're not called gyms in Ingress, but yeah.
So explain to people what a gym is. I mean me. Explain to people, and when I say people, quotes in the air.
Sure.
Me.
So there's two spots in Pokemon. There are Poke Spots and there are gyms. Poke Spots are like minor things that you might see on the street. You might see like a cool mural that someone took a photo of and marked it in Ingress and was like, hey, this is a cool spot. And it becomes a Poke Spot. And at those points, you can collect Pokeballs, you can collect healing items. They're like around the neighborhood.
What's a Pokeball?
You capture Pokemon in them.
You waste them?
What?
So when you see a Pokemon,
Yeah.
you got to throw Pokeballs at it,
Yeah.
and you only have a certain amount of Pokeballs.
Yes, you can run out. But if you stop at a lot of Pokestops, it's fine.
Everyone, you got. I sound cool, right?
You sound very cool. What's interesting, I think, Jeff, is that the difference between our ages is not very great. You're
It's 2.
2 years? Is it?
Yeah, you're 32.
I thought you were like 44?
What? I'm 48.
48, I know.
No, it's 2 years.
Yeah, it's 2 years. But those 2 years, I was in the sweet spot for Pokemon. I was, because it came out
12.
That's what I'm saying. I was 12 years
And
old
I was
when it came
14.
out. But you were starting to get into high school, and if like you're in high school and you're playing Pokemon, you're kind of a loser.
But just go rewind 2 years in middle school. You're the coolest.
Coolest, definitely.
No.
I mean, you were still at the nerd table, but there was like a lot more nerds with you playing Pokemon.
Wait, did you go to like sleepaway camp?
Yes.
Were you the indoor kid?
No, I went out. I did hiking and stuff.
You were sports?
Everyone. I realize my mom seems to think that I'm the most indoor kid ever, but
my
I
God.
actually do outdoor stuff.
Yeah.
We're sort of jumping around on topics here.
We'll get back to that.
We'll
thing.
get back to that in a second.
Well, so it's funny because I was asking about. I was talking to someone at CNET yesterday on the way to this Sony event we were at last night, and we were talking about sleepaway camp and how like I'm sure Pokemon Go is like the game of the summer camp world.
Maybe. I don't know how much Ingress people played at like camp sites. You know?
Right, but that conversation evolved to us talking about how this guy was like the indoor kid. I'm like,
yeah.
You didn't play basketball and ping pong? He's like, no, I kind of just like got lost in the forest with a hat. I'm like, what?
They didn't really let us go off and like do our own. I mean, we'd have free period, but like for the most part, like you'd have a very set schedule of
The
stuff
best part about summer camp, and if you didn't go there,
you're probably not a Northeastern Jew.
well, the best part is Stacy never went.
Yeah.
And she's filled with this endless regret about
Really?
it. Yeah.
Did she have a chance to go?
I think
Was
her
it
parents
offered?
just didn't want her to
Yeah,
go.
okay.
Which was a thing.
I would totally send my kid to summer camp.
Oh my God.
It's like a win for both of us.
Oh, I can't wait. I
Yeah,
can't
it
wait
sounds
till he's
amazing.
like, I don't know, when's the earliest you could send them?
I was 7 years old and I went away
Sleepaway.
for 2 months sleepaway.
Wow, that's
7.
super
My
early.
brother was going there, so he was 10, so that helped a little
they're-
bit.
yeah.
But it's still like
7 super early. My first year, I was like 11.
yeah. They actually held me back in my bunk another year because I was so young.
They're like, this kid's, he
Yeah.
can't even brush his
So
teeth.
all of my friends that I made moved on,
Oh, that's sad.
and I was very upset.
Yeah. So yeah, she's filled with all this regret.
Sure.
Because she never went.
Yeah.
And I always, I rub
They have
it
adult summer camp.
in. Do they?
They do.
Yeah, for people who can
Sandals.
afford to like not go to.
It's like swingers summer camps.
it's called like Garden of Eden
Yeah.
or something like that. Anyway, back to the Pokemon.
Back to Pokemon. I would say if you don't know how it works, it's very, very it's surprisingly complicated. But the basics are Pokemon are running around. The more popular an area is, like if you go into Times Square, there's Pokemon everywhere. Like you are surrounded by Pokemon.
So what generates them? Like how do they show up?
Sure. So it's generated by how popular an area is based on GPS signals. So if there's a lot of GPS signals in that area, that means that Pokemon are going to show up en masse. If you're in the middle of nowhere, they'll still show up, but less frequently.
Okay. And the official Russ Frushtick review.
I mean, as a game, I don't think it's the best game
Everyone
ever.
says it's kind of shit.
It's kind of not a great game, but as a social event, it is unlike anything I've ever seen happen. Like,
Do you think it's more the gimmick of AR or the nostalgia
sure.
of Pokemon?
So I think part of it started as the gimmick of AR. It helped for like a social growth thing because people are like, hey, someone took a Pokemon, a picture of Pikachu in front of whatever, Herald Square or something. But what it has since become is it's less about the AR and more about the fact that you have to be outside in populated areas. So you'll be in a park and you'll see a crowd of people and someone will shout like Jigglypuff and everyone loses their goddamn minds. Like,
is that rare?
yeah. So like, yes. So yeah, for some people, I'm sure it's not. But you know, if you shouted out a rare Pokemon, people will lose their minds and like look at their phones and check around. And suddenly it's a social event. In Japan,
I get it.
this has been going on for many, many years, not for Pokemon specifically, but like everyone has this culture of like playing multiplayer games with other people in hotspots and stuff like that.
So it's always happening.
Always happening. It never really happened here. I think because there just weren't games that really took off that required multiplayer. Like
we're also a way bigger country, real estate.
Yeah, but even in Times Square, you would, or what, New York City, you'd think it would have happened.
It's closer to. Yeah.
But here, because everyone has a phone, everyone has this popular game. It's obvious when people are playing it because they are standing in the middle of random spaces with their phone out. So it's generated this crazy zeitgeist moment where I walk down the street and I see, oh, that person's playing it. That one. The dude in the deli yesterday was like, what team are you on?
Oh, and you pick a team.
Yeah, you have to pick one of 3 teams. So I'm on Team Mystic. And that's how you battle over gyms. So a gym gets assigned to one team and you can take it from that team.
What is this doing to us, you think?
I think it's cool and it's good insofar as it's introducing gaming to more people and in a positive light insofar as people are interacting with each other in ways that the typical image of gaming is I'm sitting at a computer alone playing a game or on my couch alone.
It's redefining a lot
of stuff. What you could do. Now, the problem is all these game companies right now are probably how do we have our Pokemon Go? Yeah. But they can't because the Ingress existed for years and years. Right. So that was their beta test and no one has Pokemon. Right. So the only game that I think could come close to this insanity is Animal Crossing. And that's also Nintendo.
Right, but I think there are other universes out there. There's Disney characters. I think you can do Disney or Marvel. Imagine you did a superhero spotter thing.
Yeah, but spotting is not the same as capturing and owning.
So it's the same thing. You carbon copy
and also
that.
They don't have the back end. So it could be 5 years before we see anything like this again.
This is all built on the Ingress back end.
Unless Google swings in and is hey, you can use our entire information database. Yeah.
Or you know who was doing it? Wasn't Yelp doing it? Yelp was doing AR stuff with locationally aware retail stores and restaurants.
Yeah.
And you would use the lens on your camera to look around and be oh, there's a Dunkin' Donuts 6 blocks that way.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Even with Star Wars and Marvel, I don't know that it would be like this because there's this universal weird appeal to Pokemon that just, I just, and the idea that you feel like you're catching things is it's not hey,
I
Luke
get it.
Skywalker's
I
on my
get
phone.
it. I make fun of it a great deal.
Very bizarre.
I did nothing but media hits on it on Monday and Tuesday. I was all over the place. I act like I don't know what it is, but I am familiar with what's going on. But I think I realize I have no excuse. I can't say I'm generationally detached from the the whole sort of excitement about it because I'm not. Because I know people older than me who are over the moon about it.
Is Stacy playing it?
No. We are a Pokemon Go free home.
Yes.
Dylan knows when he walks in the door.
Yeah, enough already.
Delete it from your phone.
Delete it. It's gone. All the Abras that you caught are toast.
We did a great game on Beastcast yesterday. It was, is this a Pokemon or a prescription drug?
Oh, I would have crushed that game.
You would not.
I would have crushed that game. I'm sorry, I can't participate.
Fusion. Well, it was Fusion. What's that?
That's a prescription drug.
It was, but it's crazy.
I know. I would say I know. I certainly all of the 151 Pokemon original.
So do you think you could name them? No way.
I could name a lot of them. When I would be in boring meetings many years ago, as a thing to fill my time during a boring meeting, I would literally try to write down as many as I could, and I got to 133 one time.
Oh my god!
Because it's ingrained in you. I don't need to see. I can see the image of whatever it is on the screen. I don't need to see a name, and I know instantly what the name of that Pokemon is. Now, folks, they're up to 570 or whatever they're up to now. I can't name all of the new ones.
You realize you're opening a door here. You're letting a skeleton out.
No,
I didn't know this about you.
I like Pokemon?
You more than like it.
I really like Pokemon. I'm not denying it.
You're at a point where it's not a problem, but it's a thing with you.
It's a thing. Yeah, I'd agree with that.
I'm surprised no one said anything about Pokemon at your wedding.
Good segue. Look at that.
Although I'm sure some Pokemon Go was happening at your wedding.
I know for 100% sure because my good buddy Chris Plant took a photo of our ceremony while he was catching a Pokemon during the ceremony.
Okay, that's not bad. That's not.
There was a Rattata sitting on someone's shoulder.
Oh, Rattata, you and your tail and claws.
Yeah, okay.
Sure.
He's a little rat.
Oh, a little rat.
So there you
rat
go.
tatty. There you go. That makes sense. Your wedding was lovely.
Thank you so much.
It was a picturesque
Yes, we lucked out on the weather.
day.
Man, that is a stressful. Once it started, it just ran and went very quickly. But for a year, I've talked about it. Like for a year, I've just been like a stress monster about it, and I hate having people over to my apartment because I get very stressed about it. I like having people there.
Yeah.
But the lead up to it is
The
like,
anticipation
do I have
of it all.
enough chips?
Right.
And this is that times whatever.
And it wasn't even like over. It wasn't like an over the top thing where
No,
like
it
there were
wasn't
so many moving
overproduced.
parts and stuff like that.
No.
I think. So I said this to you yesterday, and I'll say it again because I want other people to hear because
Yeah.
I thought it wasn't bad. So if you want to get a good visual for what Russ was like the day of his wedding,
Yeah.
for the 17 seconds I talked to him during his beautiful wedding, the scenes in Roger Rabbit where they give him alcohol,
Yeah.
and he just like starts steaming like a whistle, and his bow tie's spinning, and he's lifted off the ground, and he's going crazy nonstop.
Yeah.
That was
You're saying it looked like I took cocaine.
yeah. It looked like you did cocaine laced with like Adderall,
Sure.
and speed.
Yeah, it's an adrenaline push, man. I'm telling you.
It was, man, it looked like you were sort of like vibrating at an octave that the human brain couldn't comprehend.
Natively, I just have this mentality of like trying to be a host and being very aware of like, hey, have I like seen everybody and talked to everybody and like everyone's having a good time, etc. So to have that many people relying on you, even though they're probably not, but in my brain, that's the way I think. All I can do is like, it's just like it's like a eradicate running in a wheel.
It was great though. I'm
you.
super happy for you. Everyone looked great. It was a lovely affair.
Yeah.
Super classy.
Yeah, it was nice.
Real
you.
nice setup.
Thank you.
Everything looked good.
Yeah, very earthy. We were in the park. We had the ceremony outside, which was cool.
It was a place in the Bronx where
Yeah.
like I didn't even realize existed.
Yeah, it's the New York Botanical Gardens in the Bronx.
And it's like an immaculate sort of park.
Gorgeous. It's enormous. Like I think it's considerably larger than Central Park. It's very, very large, and it's just sprawling. And if you ever get the chance, very easy to get to from pretty much anywhere in the city. You can take a train right there. Really recommend it. A really cool way to spend a day. And they do a really cool train show and a model train show.
Oh, that's right. I remember you went
December
there
in the winter.
Dude, there was a babbling brook behind your wedding.
Well, that was the Bronx River right behind us.
Bronx River.
Yeah.
And not a lot of bodies in it.
No, surprisingly.
Only 6 during
Usually
the entire thing.
East River is where the bodies go.
Right.
Yeah.
And Hudson.
And the Hudson.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, very good stuff. We got to take a break. That's right. We have a
Okay.
sponsor this week.
Exciting.
And the rest of the month. So stick around after a word from our sponsor. We'll be right back. The 404 Show is supported by Citi Cards with Android Pay. How cool is it that we live in a world where you can use the same device to listen to our fine program and buy your morning coffee, groceries, and more? And did I mention it's a super fast way to pay? Just use your Citi Card with Android Pay at the register. Get in, get it, get going. Download the Android Pay app on Google Play or visit citi.com/Android Pay to get started. Android Pay is available for eligible Citi consumer credit and debit cards. Hey, welcome back to the 404 Show. This is episode 1669, if you're keeping score at home.
I am.
That's 1669. It's crazy.
It's a lot of episodes.
We've done a lot.
Yeah.
We've done a lot. It's a weird sort of thing when you've like, I don't know. I don't know.
Does it make you feel, how does that make you feel? Are you proud? Are you surprised? Are you?
Definitely surprised.
Yes.
Without a
You
doubt.
can't like fathom that you've done this that many times.
Well, don't forget, we were doing it daily for like 6 years.
Sure.
So,
Sure.
or 5 years.
Yeah.
So that was significant,
Yeah.
right? Like that was a big part of our everyday.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think now it's like much more of a just like a complimentary sort of thing.
Okay.
I don't know. I didn't know what we were going to turn this into.
Yeah, I mean, you've experienced them more than most.
You've been, yeah. I don't know. It's weird. It's kind of like at the point now where we still have more viewers than I thought we would by now, listeners rather. And I'm always sort of like surprised at that, and obviously very grateful. And the fact that we're still able to do it, and you just heard an advertisement. Like,
yeah,
people still want to put ads on the show,
That's a
which
good
is
sign.
Pretty cool. And it's just rad. I don't know how long it'll go for. I don't know, what the future holds, but I think it's a very therapeutic, welcoming, something I still look forward to doing once a week, especially with you.
Oh, shucks.
Which
I
is,
feel the same way. It is nice. I think it's very relaxing and enjoyable, and I like that people still listen and enjoy us.
Yeah.
So good stuff.
It's pretty rad. All right, moving along. What'd you get on Amazon Prime Day? What'd you do?
So now I feel like we talked about this last year. Has it been a year since I've been on the show? We're around the anniversary.
We
Pretty
gotta
close.
be. Oh,
Pretty
shit.
Close.
We gotta look at that.
Yeah, we'll take a look.
Yeah.
Because I do remember talking about, I think it was Amazon Prime Day last year, and it was a total disaster, calamity.
It was a bust, yeah.
I might have been guessing or something. But it was a total bust. Terrible things were on sale that no one wanted. And everyone sort of made fun of Amazon for a while.
Right, because it was also like, and they kind of still did this year, but they did these freaking flash sales.
Yeah.
Where you were saving 48 cents on something.
Yeah, and there is this scam thing that I know happens on Steam as well, where companies will increase their base price before a flash sale happens.
So that it looks like...
Yeah, you're getting 50% off this
Right.
thing, but normally it's much cheaper than...
This can of tennis balls should never have been $33.
Yeah. So I think that happens to a certain extent, but obviously there are deals to be had. This was a couple days after I got married, and there was I went on there, I was thinking like, well, what am I going to find that I'm like desperately going to want? And the first thing I saw was a crap ton of detergent. I was like, that might be a good idea to have like a bunch of detergent. So that was my
I
first
clean my clothes.
First adult thought that I didn't actually act on. I didn't buy a bunch of detergent, but it was pretty cheap. What I did end up getting initially, and I don't even know if they were flash sales, but it was stuff that I've been meaning to get, was a bunch of lightning cables for my iPhone and a bagel slicer. Those are the two things I bought.
People buy the most mundane, boring stuff on Prime Day is what I've like my unscientific survey. I found that to be the case.
Yeah. Well, I bought my brother a Kindle as a best man gift, and I bought so by like 7:00 at night, I was thinking like, should I buy an Amazon Echo?
Oh wow.
And I went through a very weird process in my brain.
So how much does it usually cost?
So it's usually $175, I believe.
Okay.
And it was down to like $120 or $125.
That's pretty good.
So it was a pretty, $179, and it was, I think, down to $125.
It's pretty good.
Or $120. And so pretty significant decrease. And there was a moment, I'm like very weird about that sort of stuff.
You are very weird.
Because I don't buy a lot of things for myself, mostly because the vice that I have is video games, and I get a lot of them from work. So I don't really have a lot of vices that I spend money on. I don't care about clothes. I don't do a lot of drinking. So like, I'm just like very weirdly careful about how I spend my money, which I guess follows certain cliches. But in this case, I was like, I like did a little bit of research. I'm like, when I listen to Spotify at home, it's a bit of a production because I have to turn on the PS4 and I have to turn on the right input on my TV. And just the idea of being like, hey, Alexa, play Billy Joel and having that music play seems wicked. And that's only like, Dan Ackerman yesterday was talking about like he has his home hooked up to smart home stuff. So he can be like, turn on light 2 and it does that. And that's, pretty cool. Like, it never occurred to me that those were things I wanted to do. But, so I ended up, that was my kind of silly gift from Amazon Prime Day. That didn't really have any real necessity in my life, but I think I'm going to like it. There's a few iterations of it, which is kind of interesting, kind of confusing.
Yeah, I'm starting to get maybe a tiny bit of regret
That you didn't get it?
that I didn't get it.
Oh, I
Yeah.
thought you. Why did I think you had one? Oh, I guess Dan was saying he had one.
Yeah, I guess I wouldn't get that one. I would probably get the dot.
Yeah. So
The dot is just the hockey puck.
right, the hockey puck, and that plugs into an AV receiver.
Right, but I don't see it here. Like I don't
What do you
even
mean?
see
It's
the
down.
No, that ain't
Yeah.
it. That's the book on how to use it.
What happens if you search for the dot?
That's what I
Amazon
just
dot.
did. Amazon dot.
Weird. So maybe they're sold out or something.
I
Maybe
don't
it's
know.
not called the dot.
Are you
Maybe
sure?
It's called something else. I don't know. But yeah, the dot effectively is just the brains of the Amazon Echo that you can plug in. I think it has a tiny speaker in it, but it does all the voice controls and everything like the Echo does, but it doesn't have like the giant speaker on it. So you would then plug it into an input device. The reason I didn't go that route is weird. I don't know why it's not showing up.
Yeah, it's not showing up. There's something
maybe
going
it's
on.
sold out or something.
Because the Echo's showing
Yeah,
up.
the Echo's showing up.
I mean, that's not going to be in stock for another week and a
Yeah,
half.
I'm not getting mine until the 27th, to give you an idea. The Echo's pretty cool. The reason I didn't go that route is because I didn't want to have to, like it, my whole purpose was like ease of use and constant availability. And plugging it into an AV receiver kind of kills that because it's like you have to be on the right input.
Right, and then it's not this always, it is always on,
Yeah.
but the audio you're not going to hear coming out of it is not
Right.
going to always be on.
Yeah. But it,
So,
I mean,
I don't know.
I will report back. Not going to get it for another 2 weeks.
What else are you going to use it for, though?
I'm going to use it to check weather. Weather in the morning. Alex every single day is like, "What's the weather going to be?" And I have to pull up my app.
Oh my
and
God.
talk to her like a moron.
And like, where's Alexa getting its information from?
What do you mean? They're hooked into like a weather service.
Yeah, so what if it's not like the most accurate weather? What if it's
I mean,
like
we just
Bob's
need to know
weather?
the high and whether it's going to rain. That's essentially all we need.
Dude, it's all about Weather Underground.
I use on my phone. I use an app called Stormy Skies or something. Dark Sky, it's called.
What is
really
that?
excellent
Yeah?
weather app. I like it a lot.
All right, I'll write that
on my
down.
phone.
Dark Sky.
And it's much more detailed than the crappy built-in iPhone app.
All right.
But I mean, I'm gonna use it for that. Apparently, you can have it like read news stories to you. You can have it load up podcasts.
That's pretty cool. I feel like I would also use it to... The Spotify thing is the most appealing thing, where
Yeah.
you can tell it to play anything on Spotify.
Yes,
That's pretty
anything
great.
on or Amazon Prime Music if you use that, or Pandora. It does Pandora as well. It also will do the stuff where it's like instant buy stuff on Amazon, which is helpful, I think, for stuff like, oh, we're out of detergent, or I'm very focused on detergent, dish soap, and you
You're
can be
very
like,
focused on
Alexa,
cleaning.
order us more dish soap, and it knows what dish soap you order and will instantly order that for you.
I think down the line, the smart home stuff is really going to take off. And it already is, like Dan told you about the lights and
Yeah,
stuff
yeah,
like
yeah.
that. I don't know if I'm maybe totally ready for it, but
But you've started, like, using voice controls is just like kind of that. That's what
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
Like, you're kind of there. And you guys use, what is it, a Nest or something for your...
No.
You use that dumb camera thing.
oh, right. Yeah, we do hate it, though.
Oh, you hate it?
It's the worst.
What is it?
It's a drop. It was originally a drop cam, but now Nest bought it.
Yeah, okay.
Let me just put that out there. I don't know if I've talked about that enough. Have I?
No, not really.
I hate drop cam.
Okay.
I hate that Nest camera.
What's
it
the problem?
sucks. It's not good.
You can't see anything?
No,
For a drop-
I think the quality sucks.
Okay.
It's maybe 7 feet away from my router, and the quality is shit.
Is it better when you get
It
closer
dr-
to your router?
No,
And can it be wired?
it maybe, but
Yeah.
who the hell is going to do that?
I mean, quality is like, how detailed do you need it to be?
I need to be able to see my kid while he's sleeping.
Oh, you can't tell?
It's just a
like
blob.
a square.
It's just like, oh, I guess that pixel is his hand,
Yeah.
For me, it's less the quality and more the rate of dropout. Like,
Yeah.
I'll be watching it, so we'll have him sleeping in the room,
Sure.
in his room, and we close the door. And look, air conditioning's on. A lot of things are on in the house now, so you can't hear him cry all
Okay.
the time.
Sure.
So we have usually
Ferber method.
right. We have usually like a tab open,
Yeah.
with the volume
Yeah, yeah,
jacked
yeah.
up, so we can hear him cry if he
Yeah.
cries, or it's on our phone or an iPad, and it's constantly dropping in and out.
Yeah, that's
and it's
bad.
like, what's going on? Why isn't this working?
And it's not your net connection.
No, dude, I have great internet in the house.
Yeah, that's really bizarre.
So I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
It's not is it a service that you pay for every month?
No,
Oh, okay.
You can do that. You can pay the premium.
And what do you get for that?
You get a suite of monitoring, features where it's like, record anytime there's movement.
Yeah.
That's more of like the security camera sort of thing. I also have a Canary.
Okay.
Because Canary sponsored the show once, and they sent me one.
Okay.
And I use that a lot.
What is that?
That is, it's a home monitoring thing. It looks like an Echo. It's like a tennis ball can.
Yeah.
It sits in the corner, and I use that to just like peek in on the apartment every now and then.
So why would you have both?
Well, I'm not going to have that to look at Dylan.
Why?
Because it's also for like the temperature in the room, air quality. It can do a siren to like ward off, undesirables.
Or just scare Stacy when she's home.
Oh, I would never do that. It's so mean. Apparently, it's like
is it really loud?
This ultrasonic, awful
brutal
thing.
Yeah,
that like supposed to scare someone. Crap. I think it actually forces the victim to poop themselves.
Oh, cool.
It's like
the brown note.
Yep, the brown note.
Very cool.
Right. Yep.
You clearly have a smart home thing going on then. You have like way more devices than I do.
Maybe I do. Maybe I should have got one.
Oh, you're disappointed now.
I screwed up.
I mean, whatever. You could treat yourself. It's not that expensive.
It's not that bad. I think I want the puck though.
Yeah.
I don't know how I would make it work with
Why? Because you're worried the sound quality will be not good.
Yeah.
Because you're an audiophile.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the sound quality on the Echo I heard good,
acceptable, which is really all I need. I'm not picky.
I need good. I need like, this sounds good.
I do want to mention one other thing that I realized over the last few weeks over the last couple, really this week. If you are a person that just got married, people will bend over backwards to help you out.
What do you mean?
So we stayed at a hotel the night we got married.
Oh, this is okay. I'm sorry. I understand where you're going.
Yes.
Go ahead.
And we, checked in, and they were lovely. I'll give them a plug because I thought the hotel was really nice. And they hooked us up.
Do it. Casey Neistat over here.
Gramercy Park Hotel, which was very nice. I paid for my own room. They haven't given me any money. But they hooked us up with an upgrade to the room. I mean, we were staying on a Sunday night, so like I'm sure the demand was not super high, but they gave us like a 2:30 p.m. checkout the next day, which is very late for a hotel checkout.
That is very late. That is very generous.
And it was just great. I mean, the second we said like, "Oh yeah, we're getting, we're going to be there. We're getting married," people on the phone would be like, "Oh, we will do anything." Like they literally just went head over heels nuts.
Yeah,
to help us out.
I'm glad they could.
Yeah,
it helps when your friend Jeff makes a call.
Yeah, clearly pulling some strings. Also, it's funny because Alex lost her hanger for her wedding dress.
Oh no!
I think she left it at the venue.
Is it a special hanger?
Well, I mean, I guess you need like special hooks.
Stacy had a hanger that said Mrs. Bachelor.
No, it wasn't one of those hangers. Okay. It was just a generic hanger.
That sounds pretty lame, right?
Yes, super lame.
Okay.
So she just wore her wedding dress home the next day. We took an Uber home, and she just like she's like, I'll just wear it. So there's a photo on my Instagram of her catching a Pokemon in her wedding dress because we were just
in the Uber.
Wasn't in the Uber, but yeah.
Getting to the Uber car.
It was really pretty funny, and I appreciated that she was cool with just wearing it.
Yeah, she's pretty down to earth, laid back chick. I could just see you getting into the Uber, and
he actually was very.
Like, oh, you guys had a night, huh?
Yeah, he didn't say anything. There were a lot of people.
He's seen it all
on the street and stuff. They were like, "Hey, congrats!" and all that stuff.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So you were in like plain clothes, and she was in a wedding dress?
Yeah, I was in shorts and a t-shirt. That's
some night you guys had there, kids.
It's like the end of Mrs. Robbins, or was it?
Yeah, The Graduate.
The Graduate, right? Where he breaks in and steals the wedding, the bride.
Yeah, we all saw the end of Wayne's World too.
Yes.
We know. D. Frank on Twitter, writes in. From, what is this, a day ago.
Okay.
At Jeff Bachelor, catching up on 404 episodes. Excuse the time machine comment, but you are right and your colleagues are wrong.
About
Casey Neistat's videos are awesome.
Oh, wow.
They're about the adventure of the moment. He makes the day-to-day exciting to watch.
I mean, I'm sure he does for a lot of people.
D. Frank did 2 tweets
to
convey that message.
Okay. D. Frank, in parenthesis, Casey Neistat.
Nope, not the same guy.
I get that there are people that really, really love him, and insofar as there are also people that really love PewDiePie and love all the other people on YouTube. Not for me. And that also does not discount the fact that most of it is probably sponsored. So that's what I will say about that.
We will. I don't want to say we disagree. Person. We don't disagree on that. Sure. I do believe a lot of his stuff is sponsored as well.
Yes.
I just think he is.
Although he is not
entertaining.
He is not. If it is sponsored, I don't think he's indicating it in the description or anywhere in the video. So he might get into some hot water. With the FTC, if it is sponsored,
perhaps.
I would also consider
is product placement need to be disclosed?
Yes,
it does.
Yes, you can.
Where is that disclosed in like TV shows? I'm not making excuses. I'm just saying, where is it disclosed? That's a
good question, Jeffrey. I don't actually know the answer to that
because
in movies too, like you'll see people drinking Coke, and you're like, oh, that Coke probably paid for that, but. There's no indication unless it's
because
in the credits, maybe?
Is product placement considered the same thing as a regular commercial?
I don't know. It might be.
Maybe that's.
It might be in the credits, like furnished by.
But that to me is such a lame sort of footnote that nobody will pay attention to.
If you are listening to this and you know the answer to this, how product placement is treated by the FTC and whether it's allowed without indication, let us know. Call in.
I'm really curious.
Send an email. Post on the 404 Reddit. I'm really, really curious. That's a good question. Good work, Jeff.
Yeah.
Pulled that one out.
Detective Jeff.
Yep.
On the FTC beat. Okay, let's move things along. We have one more we have two things to talk about. First things first. The NES is coming back.
Yeah.
This is pretty cool. So Nintendo is releasing a palm-sized Nintendo Entertainment System. That's the original Nintendo.
Yes.
They're calling it the Classic Edition.
Yes.
And it's coming preloaded with 30 classic NES games.
Good games, too. Not like the crummy...
Not shit games.
It's like yeah.
Real solid stuff. Stuff that's like not even in the virtual console as far as I'm aware.
I think most of it probably is.
Most of it is, but I think some of them, a few
you're talking the original Zelda, you're saying Castlevania, Mario Brothers 1, 2, and 3.
Although, and Super Contra's there, but not regular Contra.
That is an interesting choice, although Super Contra is quite good. Super C.
I didn't play Super C. So.
They do have Punch-Out, but it's not Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. It's Mr. Dream, which is like...
So what? It's like Mike Tyson...
Well, that was after the rape situation.
Oh, right. Hold on. Let's pause for the Giant Bomb, guys.
They're getting very excited.
You hear this shit?
Yeah.
What are they playing over there?
I don't know.
Wow. Okay. So yeah, if you want to go through it, there's a video I put up yesterday on CNET, and also a little write-up that tells you all the games that are going to hit it. You're getting all 3 original Mario Brothers games, including Mario Brothers.
Mario Brothers. This is, I think, going to sell like It's coming out in the holiday, and it's going to be, I think, a gangbusters holiday thing.
It's a little too pricey for a stocking stuffer, but
it's $60, which is like that's a good gift for like.
Who's not going to get
friend
this?
And you would like get this.
And here's the deal,
think it's going to sell out.
It's going to sell out really well. Well, sure. That's English. I think this will do extraordinarily well. Like you said, I think a lot of people have a tough time dealing with their fragmented virtual console stuff too.
Yeah. It's a total
to the point
pain
where
in the
like
ass.
People can't keep track of where all their stuff is.
You've bought,
I have Donkey Kong on my Wii, but I have Mario 3 on my DS. It's a disaster.
Yeah.
This consolidates the whole thing, not to mention the people who are too intimidated even to begin to mess with virtual console stuff. We'll see a lot of value here. Paying $2 a game for 30 classic titles. You get an adorable little NES thing, which I hope has some sort of nostalgic air blowing mechanic. Like I hope
I don't know that it does.
Yeah, you lift up the little flap and it's
cool.
just like an ashtray or something like that.
I wasn't sure if it comes with a controller or not.
It does. So it comes with one controller.
Okay.
And the interface that it plugs into is the same thing that's on the bottom of a Wii remote.
Oh.
So you can plug in, I don't know if you can plug in a Wii remote, although you probably can, but you can plug in like the Pro controller and the other one.
Okay, that's cool.
So you can do that.
But it's probably not wireless.
No, it's not wireless. It's all wired.
Yeah.
Which
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I'm fine with that too. I guess this is like a very portable thing. It has HDMI.
I think a lot of people are going to pick this up. People that like haven't touched gaming in ages are like, "Hey, I'll have this next to my TV."
It just makes so much sense. And like they show you a photo of the size of this thing. It's adorable. It's literally the size of your palm.
That could be Shaq's hand. It's hard to say.
It could be. I have huge hands. I'm thinking it's the size of like what would you call that? What's the size?
I think
it
looks like it's probably like 6x6 would be my guess.
That's a fair estimate.
I'm sure they've released the stats on how big it is. I think it's brilliant. Nintendo, who knew, Suddenly,
What a quarter.
Like Moltres, the legendary fire Pokemon, has risen from the ashes. How about that?
If I was a Pokemon, which Pokemon would I be? Because you know tons of them.
It's true.
Which one would I be? Fraggentooth.
Well, my gut springs to mind Snorlax.
Snorlax?
Yeah, the lazy Pokemon
What the fuck? Why am I... what?
that takes naps.
First of all, that's kind of cute.
Snorlax is great. He is well loved.
Well, I found,
he likes whistles.
found the image for today.
Whistles.
Whistles?
Yeah.
I am not Snorlax.
I'm trying to think of like a
Look
sweaty...
at this lazy dick. He's not doing anything.
I'm trying to think of a sweaty Pokemon.
Species? It says species : sleeping. What the hell's that?
He's a sleeping type Pokemon.
Abilities: immunity, and one of his abilities is thick fat.
This might be Jeff from a few years ago.
What the hell's Munchlax?
Jeff is slim. Oh, that's the baby version of Snorlax.
Are those considered two separate ones?
Yeah, two separate Pokemon, yeah.
So Munchlax
evolves into Snorlax.
because he eats so much he falls asleep.
Yeah, hard to say. I don't actually...
Hard to say. Oh, and his hidden ability, gluttony.
Yeah.
You're a dick. What else is there?
Let's see. So who would Jeff be? I would say... I mean... well, give me some identifying characteristics. How
You know me very well.
It's true. So you like hockey.
There's obviously not a hockey Pokemon.
There is not, although they have run out of ideas, so they're really scraping the barrel.
Puck Dong.
I would. How about this? Machop.
Spell it.
Machop. How about that? Let's see if that looks like Jeff.
All right.
There he is.
This
Jeff.
guy I can
Look at
hang
little
out
Jeff.
with.
And he evolves into a super strong Pokemon later on. I mean, he's not there yet.
To Machoke.
Yeah, Machoke is much stronger. And then there's Machamp, which is even stronger than that. And he's got 4 arms.
Why is Machop me?
I don't know. Just like a charming demeanor. He wants to be strong, but he's not quite there yet.
And they don't speak.
Well, they say their names.
How does Machop say Machop?
I think he's Machop, like that. But like Pikachu goes Pika. And you've got Snorlax is Snore. Oddish is like Oddish. This is all perfect representations.
Hold on. Let's
there's
see.
Machop.
I want to see if I can hear this.
So this music is not from the show, I don't think. But he is fighting Primeape there. And
Kind of dig this song.
Togepi's in the crowd there watching him.
Machop.
And what was great about the cartoon, which we're watching now, is that unlike Dragon Ball Z, stuff happened. Every episode with its own story. It wasn't like you were waiting 9 episodes for an energy ball to be charged up. There was constant movement, constant Pokemon
Here's
appearances.
Machop.
This is probably... No, that's in-game. That's in-game.
Damn it. I want real-life Machop action.
In a cartoon, yeah, it's hard to say. I wouldn't say that's a perfect representation of Jeff, but that's what sprung to mind.
Thanks, bud.
What about me? Who would you think? Oh, you don't know any Pokemon, so it'd be difficult.
Is there like a praying mantis one?
There is.
What is it?
I don't think it looks like me. Scyther.
Is there really?
It's SCYS.
Sorry.
You know the type? Yeah.
Scyther.
There he is.
Pokemon.
So that's like a praying mantis.
There you are.
There is a very skinny plant called...
Is there one that looks like Jack Skellington? Is there any skeleton Pokemon?
No, they're ghost Pokemon.
Ooh.
But they don't look like me.
What's the coolest looking ghost Pokemon?
I like Gengar. Gengar's my favorite ghost Pokemon. Gengar.
There he is. Oh,
Yeah, he's
not
awesome.
very surprising. He just looks like...
Yeah, most of the ghost Pokemon just look like that. There's like weird sword ghost
So are
Pokemon.
ghost Pokemon dead?
It's unclear.
It's unclear, Jeff.
There is...
Scholars maintain
So
that...
it's weird because it's like, so what's the deal? Like all the Pokemon just die and they turn into these 4 ghost Pokemon?
Oh, there's only 4.
Yeah, there's very few ghost Pokemon. It's not like there's a ghost Pokemon for every normal Pokemon. That would be
there's one for like
outrageous.
puberty and
Yeah.
senior citizenship.
There's true. There are old and middle. There's a few ghost Pokemon.
Ooh, I like Ghastly.
Ghastly's another type of ghost
Oh,
Pokemon.
he's basically like Ball
just a
Chain
ball.
from Mario Brothers.
Haunter is another ghost Pokemon. Haunter evolves into Gengar.
I like how Haunter doesn't have attached hands.
Yeah. Oh, Cubone is one of my favorite Pokemon. Bellsprout was actually the Pokemon I was going to compare myself to.
Oh my god, you are Bellsprout.
But
Cubone's cool because he
Cubone
wears
is
like
cool.
a mask, a skull mask.
So the fascinating thing about Cubone is that when he was first introduced, his backstory in the game was the skull that he wears is actually the skull of his dead mother.
Oh
And
my shit, that's dark.
The tears on the skull are his tears that he's crying.
Whoa! Why is he wearing his mom's skull?
Well, they've since changed it to be less dark, and they don't really talk about the origin of the skull, but that's the backstory.
So my whole thing when Pokemon came out, I like I said was 14.
Yeah.
Gave it not the time of day, and then when I was like 16, I started. I was a camp counselor.
Okay.
And all my kids had Pokemon.
Sure. The cards?
No,
or the game?
the cards and the Game Boy stuff.
Yeah. I never played the
And
cards.
I was like, oh, I should totally get into this because they're cute, and I love Japanese stuff.
Yeah.
But then like I found out it was like a turn-based thing, and I was like, screw this.
Yeah.
Like if it wasn't turn-based and it was more like action-y,
There
I think I
are
would be
more
into it.
action-y Pokemon games, but they're not very good.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
Yeah.
I like because I was always into like Marvel card collecting.
Sure.
So I thought like, oh, Pokemon cards would be up my alley.
Yeah.
Nah.
You were too old by then.
It's too old.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
But the games, I would say, are very, very good RPG. Like, very well designed, very interesting, a lot of variety. I think the games are quite good. And
It's weird.
There's a new one coming out in the fall.
It's tough for me to like really.
I get it.
Yeah.
I understand.
Okay, finally, before we say goodbye.
Yeah. I wanted to talk about Bloomingdale's as a store. It might surprise you to learn that I have not stepped foot in Bloomingdale's in probably 10 years.
So here's the thing. Find me someone our age who has.
I don't think that they exist. I mean, there might be like son of like oil baron person.
It is a very elite store.
It's weird. So I got a gift. I got a few gifts, and one of the gifts, was something that like we didn't necessarily register for, but it's a very generous, nice gift, but we just don't have a place for it or a need for it. So we went, and this morning actually I went and returned it to Bloomingdale's for the store credit.
What else are you gonna buy
so
there?
I'll get to that.
Yeah.
So I haven't stepped foot in Bloomingdale's. I went. It was like 10:30 in the morning on a weekday, so it was empty.
Okay.
And there were countless people working there. A staggering. It'd be like walking to a Best Buy, and there were people every 6 feet in the Best Buy wearing one of those blue shirts.
Have you been to a Best Buy lately?
That's my point. No, they're empty.
Yeah.
There are like hardly any people working there.
They
now.
are. Can I just say?
Yeah.
They are the saddest stores in the world right now.
Super sad.
They are.
Monumentally sad.
And like, oh, it's bad.
I got sad going to Bloomingdale's though, because it's like same vibe, but with way more people doing nothing.
Yeah, but everything they sell is like $40,000.
Yeah. Okay. So I went in, and you walk through, and there's like, it's a department store. There's a reason why that term exists, is because it has departments that sell a
Kitchenware,
wide variety of random stuff. So you go, clothing, kitchenware, bedding, whatever. And it's in
Gold bars.
certain ways it's like Bed Bath & Beyond, but everything is like way overpriced and kind of crazy.
So what kind of brands are in there?
It's like, I mean, I don't recognize any of these
Is it
brands.
like a Gucci Prada
There's
thing?
like they have a whole section of like polo, and it's all but like the polo that has like the giant horse on it.
That's
like
really
the stuff
expensive.
when you're walking down the street and you're like, oh, that guy's from Europe because he's wearing the giant horse shirt.
And his collar's also flipped.
Yeah, exactly. So like stuff like that normal people I really don't think go and buy and stuff like that.
Sure.
But if you have infinite amounts of money, that's where you go.
Right.
And it just made like how long this store functionally has not been affected in it's seemingly 100 years. Like it worked the same way 100 years ago.
There's only one of them in the city?
No, I think there's two maybe in the city.
Right. How has it not been affected?
How does it still exist? And I realize there's probably a big markup on these stores, but the real estate's got to be outrageous. It's so much space, and I just like don't know how like they're selling like the polo shirt. Scroll up. There's this polo shirt. It's just like a normal like with a little collar and short sleeves, and well, actually, that's not the worst. That's actually not bad.
The Burberry one is
this one was $50.
$175.
This one was $50. The one on the left is $50, but that's on sale. Yeah, right. So you're gonna spend $175 on a polo shirt. Like, what kind of maniac are you? But I guess people just like the atmosphere. Harrods is the same thing in London. It's like the atmosphere of it. But how many? I mean, I guess you're going in and like spending a ton of scratch. But I don't know. I'd be curious to see how they've done over the years and whether they're still doing okay.
It's a weird thing.
It's just such a huge expense to keep these stores running and staffed and all that stuff. It's just.
I think there's only very few markets they can be.
Well, they're in malls too. Like malls have them, not to that extent.
Not a lot of blooming. Are there a lot of Bloomingdale's in Middle America?
I think they're at a mall.
They're at a mall somewhere.
Yeah, probably. Macy's,
yeah, I mean they carry Fred Perry, which is a pretty high-end brand.
What that is.
I like Fred Perry, but
I wear garbage clothes.
Yeah, so you had no business being in there. What did they like? They were like, "Sir, you're wearing shorts, sir."
Well, so picture it. I had a box that was like 3 feet tall by 2 feet wide. I'm in shorts and a t-shirt, and I've got a backpack on. They 100% that I was a drug dealer or a
or you
delivery
stole
man.
that.
Yeah, or I stole it. No one was super friendly about getting me to the place I needed to get to.
Yeah.
Because they clearly thought I was not there to buy, which was true. I was not there to buy anything. Now I have a bunch of credit at this store.
Get some Fred Perry stuff.
I'm gonna look and see if they have outdoor stuff so I can buy for my honeymoon. I can buy like an outdoor jacket, like a wind slicker or something for an outrageous amount of money.
Okay.
But I did take a picture. They had a 3X size swan inflatable toy for the pool. But like imagine a normal swan and expand that by 3.
And how much was that?
I think it was like $80.
Yeah, you got some high-end stuff in there, man.
So
there's high-end people who need high-end inflatable swans.
God, it's just so much money.
It's a weird store.
It's the.
I don't think I've ever been in one.
It goes back to what I was saying in the beginning of the show, which is like it's so the antithesis of me, which is like I'm very thoughtful about when I spend money and like I research and think about it and like is this something that's the best thing, but also like, is it reasonably priced?
Right.
And this is like the total opposite of that. It's just like, oh, here's my checkbook. I don't know how much is in my checking account balance. Here you go. Let's go nuts. And it's just water to people.
Look, some people live a different life.
Yeah. And hopefully that makes them happy.
You know, I bet people looking at your wedding, they go, this is the Bloomingdale's guy. You know, that's a nice wedding.
Yeah.
We got to get out of here. 866-404-CNET. Give us a call. Leave us a voicemail. We're back next week with a brand new show. Have a fantastic weekend. What else?
Tell us about that the product placement stuff.
Yeah, if you're some sort of like FTC expert,
somebody knows, or they'll do some research for us.
All right. Thanks again. We'll be back next time. Follow Russ on Twitter.
Yeah, at Russ Frushtick.
What else?
Polygon's Facebook page. You should like that. I do a bunch of streams throughout the week. So if you want to see me play video games, that's just facebook.com/Polygon.
Okay.
And youtube.com/Polygon. You can check this stuff out there.
There you have it. Until next time, we'll see you very soon. I'm Jeff Bacala.
I'm Russ Frushtick.
This has been the 404 Show. Have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy yourself. Be safe. We'll see you next time.